Indie Podcast.
Question mark. That was fun.
Episode 747. We're jetlining right in here.
Sure are.
Today, Sarah and Sooz, what's happening?
Oh, what's happening in my world? I am recovering from a crazy weekend that was like accidentally crazier than I wanted it to be. Like, I was like, should I share this or should I not share this? But like, whatever. I share everything with you guys.
That's true.
So I went out. Eli had some friends in town, and we were like just going out to like a casual like dinner with friends. Like, we're going to a couple bars and you know, nothing wild, just like an adult hangout. We left it probably like 5:30. You know,
early bird special. Go to one place, have a drink, an old fashioned. Go to another place, have a sake. I have a can of sake. They open it for me and or somebody opens it and like puts down, and I'm like, you know, bebopping around, talking to people, hanging out, not babysitting my drink at all. Well, I can't remember anything that happened to me after getting to the second location. I only had 4 drinks over the course of 6 hours. Sake, like nothing. This is like not like I'm doing shots of any like Jaeger bombs.
Pounding, right? Like this isn't like Long Island iced teas I'm drinking all night long or anything like that. I had minimal drinks. Nothing. I mean, I've been on reality television. I'm I know
right.
I've done this before.
Yeah, she is familiar with the perils of binge drinking.
Yes. And didn't we just on a previous episode
2.5 drinks? You said that was your limit.
And I was like, okay, I'm getting a little crazy. Like I had 2, and then I had like,
but over 6 hours. I'm pretty
over
sure
6
you can
hours.
add one
correct.
more.
Like right, I should be like legally, practically able to drive. I cannot remember how we got home. I don't remember the conversations I had. I don't remember anything. I completely blacked out. Then I wake up the next morning.
It gets weirder.
Oh, yeah, it gets weirder. I wake up the next morning and I'm like, what? Where am I? Why are our sheets different? What am I wearing? And Eli is like, do you remember what happened last night? Nope. Not a fucking clue.
Which is so scary.
So scary. Like, I don't remember how we got home. I don't remember, like, Eli's friend was there and I was like, Teek's here? When did he get here? He's like, you had full-blown conversations with him. He'd been here. He came home in the cab with us. I'm like, we took a cab home? No idea how we got home. In the middle of the night, Eli tells me, this is all, I have no memory of this, no whatsoever. Eli tells me I wake up, like first of all, I came home and said, hey, I'll meet you guys on the roof, and then passed out in the bed with all my clothes on. And then, you know, he like tucked me in, I guess, in my clothes. And then I wake up in the middle of the night and I say to Eli something like, what's happening? And then throw up all over him, all over myself. I don't even get out of bed. I have no idea. I have no memory of this. I just sat and then I kept on. I was confused about where I was or what was happening. And I kept saying things like, what is going on? What are you doing? And Eli's like, what do you think I'm doing? And he's going up and down the stairs, like trying to help me out.
This guy's just trying to clean up some barf.
Right. And I can't even, I'm not even making it to the toilet. I have no idea. I don't remember any of this. This is all I know is what I heard secondhand.
It's bizarre.
Then Eli tells me, oh yeah, by the way, you also peed yourself. What? I've never done that in my entire life. Ever as it like, I mean,
I think it's funny whenever you were originally telling me this story off the air, like I felt like you were defending yourself as if I thought maybe you.
Well, I don't have people like. I mean, we've seen people get so drunk on the challenge where they've like peed themselves. I didn't have enough to even do that. I've never
like as soon as you started the story, I knew that it was not like you
typical Sarah
overconsumed.
behavior. Right. This is. I was 100% roofied. I was drugged. And I had, the people who we were hanging out with were all doctors. And like when I told them my symptoms, they told me, they were like, wait, you didn't, that's all you drank? They were like, oh yeah, you were drugged. You were definitely roofied. And I don't even remember anything from that night.
Scary as heck, number one.
Scary as heck. Like I've never had anything even close to that happen. That is so terrifying. I am so glad that I made it home safely, that Eli was there, that and then I'm doing that thing where I'm like victim blaming, where I'm blaming myself, where I'm like, man, what an idiot. I should have never left my drink out. Like, I should have like kept that with me and put my hand, I don't know what, like put a napkin over the top of it like you do. I was thinking like, what could I have done to...
Yeah, they could never penetrate a napkin.
Right.
Like they're freaking criminals.
I know. I just am like, it really makes you feel so vulnerable and
violated.
Yeah. And it like hits, and it's one of those things where like nothing happened, so I don't feel like I was in danger. But then when I think about it, I have this feeling of like wanting to cry because I feel really scared. And like last night I told Eli, like, are you sure that the front door is locked? I've never said that ever. I've never been worried about that. He's like, yeah, it is. What, you okay?
Yeah, you feel
what's
vulnerable.
Bringing this up? And I was like, I don't know. What's bringing it up is that I'm sleeping in a bed sheet that's not the same one that we had on. I don't even know how it got on there.
This is terrible.
And that was really fucking scary. And crazy.
This is like a real life after school special. I feel like our listeners, even though obviously that is what happened to you, I bet you they might have insight on something about it.
Yeah.
That could illuminate what the heck happened.
I was confused, and I didn't even think about that. I just thought when I first thought, I was like, well, man, I did take some ibuprofen, like maybe ibuprofen like interacted with the, and then I was asking the doctors like, could that, and they're like, no.
You're like, I had an herbal tea.
Yeah. I'm like, what could this have interacted with? No, that's not thing. And so I was telling some of the women in that we were hanging out the next day that the story, and they were the ones who were like, you were roofied. Mm-hmm. They're like, well, I've heard this story before. That is what that is. And it was like, that was their first conclusion. Like, oh, you don't remember a damn thing from a night where you only had that many drinks? You're roofied.
I said to Sarah, is this something that people do even if they have no chance of taking advantage of you? Because like, what is the use of doing that? And whatever, is this a thing? Or was this like they intended it for someone else and you were just the accidental victim? I don't get it. It's so weird.
Well, I'd like that story that I maybe saved some woman from something because I made her home safe. Let's hope that's something.
Yeah.
But holy fuck, be careful.
Be careful.
Then I looked up, I was like, I want those strips. I want those strips to just have like, I don't know, just in my purse. Like there are these test strips drink. that you can buy like a whole pack of like a whole bunch of them for like $15 on Amazon. And
Sarah's going to go around the whole bar checking everybody's, making sure all the ladies are safe.
Not fucking around. Right.
Vigilante.
Because now I like, I mean,
you're like,
who's safe?
Spooked, big time.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I'm like, I didn't want to. I have yet to drink since. I'm like, no, I'm too scared.
Ugh, that's horrible.
Yeah,
I'm so thankful nothing terrible happened.
Me too.
I don't like those what ifs.
And like even there's been only one other time where I've had even close to a blackout experience, and it was where I don't remember and. Like, but then I was able to piece it together, and it was on the challenge when I was on the in Whistler, fresh meat, and I remember what I was doing to get to that point because it was my second challenge I had ever done, and people were saying, oh, the only way that you'll get, and also, guys, I was 22 at the time, and everybody was saying, oh, the only way that you're going to get like bar appearances and make any money is if you're like a wild party person. So I was like, I'm going to go hard. I'm going to do all the shots. I drank so much that night. I was aware of how much I drank. I knew I still didn't throw up. I was just like, took a shower, and I was like, why is my hair wet? And like then I was like, oh, that's right, I took a shower. And I was able to piece it together. That is the only other time in my life I remember, or I've ever had a like blackout experience where I can't remember. So much so that I didn't know that blacking out meant you just don't remember. I thought it was when you like just pass
get
out.
Confused.
Like no, like I really thought you blacked out, like pass out, like somebody
you just get sleepy.
Yeah, I thought that's what it meant. And then somebody was like, no, it's when you were like awake but you don't remember what you did. And I was like, oh yeah, that's never happened to me. And this one time, and that is it. So you can't tell me that after that
something went sideways for sure. Yeah.
So, and then I feel like I hate like not knowing and like having to like just like validate it for myself, being like, did I? No, I didn't. That's normal. I didn't.
I can see why the victim blaming happens though, because you feel like you did with me, where you have to say like, I didn't drink too much. I didn't do this. Blah, blah, blah.
And the only other time I've ever thrown up from drinking is when it's the day before my period's going to start and my hormones are all crazy. But no, I'm 2 weeks out. That's not it either. I've checked. I was like, maybe that's it. Nope, that's not it.
That's awful.
Nope, this ain't related to, this was just that. So
well, hey, you might want to talk to somebody about this. And lucky for you, the show is sponsored by BetterHelp. So maybe you could get some insight or some solace.
Well,
from
Eli's using BetterHelp right now, and I think he would talk to his therapist about this.
I'm sure he feels traumatized.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, he went through a lot that night too, and you didn't even appreciate it because you couldn't remember. But everybody needs to talk about stuff with somebody, and you can get an expert in whatever it is that you want, grief, relationships, stress, whatever you're struggling with at BetterHelp. They have experts. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient and flexible and suited to your schedule. And you can switch therapists if you need a change or if that person wasn't the best fit for you. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/braincandy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/braincandy. I like how you can choose, like, if you want a woman or if you want someone that LGBTQ or whatever, anything specific like that. I am so glad you're okay, Sarah.
Whew, me too.
And yeah.
We're going to be off the sauce for a while, though.
Oh my gosh, sober Sarah's here.
Oh,
That's fine. I support
I'm like,
you.
no, I'm never going to a concert. I'm going to be that like sober partier.
I get it. I know that feeling.
Yeah. And I told everybody, I'm like, I'm going to be high on life for forever. That's it. I'm good. I had my fair share forever.
Okay.
I am not cool. So.
All right. Yeah. You need to heal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully we can heal you with some laughter today because, I mean, we always do that. Let me see what I've got cooking. Okay.
I saw this funny meme that said, podcasters 15 minutes into their show. So let's start the show, or let's talk about what we're talking about today. And I'm like, I laugh so hard because I'm like, we do that every time. Okay, so let's start the show.
We like to get caught up, get our feet wet, and then dive in. So we will start with this because it's funny to me. Did you read about the fella who was trying to cross the Atlantic in a hamster wheel?
Oh, God. I mean, when I saw the getup, like the whole setup that he had, I was like, this is, what is this?
Challenge.
Yes! I said, this is somebody who designs a challenge, who like was fired or let go, and now they're like,
has delusions
I
of
got
grandeur.
big ideas, right?
Yeah,
like
well,
this
so
is
funny.
or this is going to be inspiration for a future one that they do. If we see this on the challenge in the next 2 to 3 seasons, you will know why.
If you have not heard about this or seen it, let me describe. So it's not a hamster wheel in the sense of like just like bars going round and round. It is looks like one of those sumo wrestling like bubble things you wear, or the ones you get inside and roll down a hill. like it's all inflated and, because it's got to float. And so this joker decided he was going to pop himself in there, and he calls it run.
Yeah,
run
that
across.
was a real stretch. I was like, sir, you are floating, bobbing at best.
Right. He's barely staying afloat, and he thinks he's like Iron Man in there. But okay, so if you haven't seen it, there's this 10-minute video documentary short on Vice that he made like a few years ago. Because this bozo's been trying to accomplish this, quote, dream for a very long time, and things keep happening.
Oh my God.
So, okay, let me ask you this, because this was sort of like the essence of the issue, is he's sort of saying like, let me live. Let me just do this and leave me be. If I die, I die. Buzz off. Right. And the Coast Guard is like, no.
Not how this works, right?
Yeah, that sometimes people are so stupid that the government has to come in and protect them from themselves. And so what do you think?
Okay, I do feel like there should... could we throw this into an extreme sport category? Like if we're letting those guys surf those big waves and they're like, yeah, go ahead. And we don't stop those guys who are surfing 100-foot waves and everything. And so I wonder if there's something that he could sign that's essentially like a DNR for this kind of stuff. Of like
DNR,
right?
That's so funny.
Of like, don't rescue me. Do not rescue.
She's so happy right now.
They're the same initials. You don't even have to change the paperwork.
Right.
You have to do
it's
nothing.
already there.
It's already done.
The acronym exists.
And that's half the battle.
That is.
Isn't that half the project?
The red tape really is about the acronym.
So, yeah. Done.
Okay.
Do not rescue. And it should be like, I feel like if you're going to sign up to do dumbass shit, I feel the same about those people who go swinging through canyons on those ropes. And that's always how people die, like rock climbing. And they're like, oh, they're canyon swinging. And then like the rope didn't hold. Shocker. Like.
Okay. What seems to be the difference, because that's a very good argument and you had me and you're right. But I think the problem is that there are these like maritime laws that are on the books already. Right. And so like, I forget what the wording was they kept using, but it was something like,
okay,
your boat is not.
Yes, that it's not seaworthy. Like it's not a seaworthy vessel or something like that. I can believe that because you can't go on the, okay, I'm with you.
So he could just swim and they would let him do it.
You can't be taking a unicycle down the middle of the interstate.
Exactly.
This is I've
That's
come
right,
around.
Sarah.
I see this because now we got and if you were those Coast Guards, you'd be like, this fucking guy. Now I got to spend my day following this fool where I could be like helping the ship that's going down over. Yeah.
Yeah, because
this is
if
different.
he were just swimming out there,
you go for it.
Go for it.
Godspeed. But now you're on a vessel that's not allowed.
Yeah. And so they have to intervene. And then the second time, he was so pissed, and they get him off of the thing, and then they like pop it, and it sinks, and he's so sad. Oh, shit. It was like his life savings.
Do you remember? This reminds me of? Do you remember when you and I brought a volleyball back from Brazil, and they popped it because it was full of air?
No.
Yes, this happened. You and I were traveling from Brazil. It was either I know this was with you. I know this was with you. And we were both like, well, why did they have to do that? And like, we were so sad about
customs deflated our ball.
Yes.
That was rude.
You were on this trip. I know this.
Why did they do that?
I didn't black that out.
Right. That's safe from your
because
roofies.
Like you couldn't bring something that was inflated with air on the plane. I had it in my carry-on. I had that bag that I remember this.
And it seems like a letter of the lost
thing.
And
we were like, come on. And then we just laughed because they're like, oh, like how funny that is that they deflated the ball.
That's so rude. Well, okay. So then this time the guy goes out and he's trying again. I'll give him an A for persistence and
Yeah,
tenacity.
but why did he make it bright fucking red if he doesn't want to be seen?
He should have done
He
blue.
should've done- yes, that's what I'm saying. He's like trying to go under the radar, and he makes it.
Yeah, because
like,
when
a
we're
flashing
looking for
neon
people
sign.
out there, we can't find them.
Right.
You're right, Sarah.
Come on.
It's got like laser beams on there.
Come on.
But the funniest / not funniest part is that when the Coast Guard pulls up and they're like, "Sir," and he's Cuban or I think Cuban, and his accent is like kind of like Ricky Ricardo level funny, and he is so pissed, and he has knives. And he says if they try to take him out of his hamster wheel, it's not funny, but it is. He says he's going to use those knives and end it all. He's saying like back off from the hamster wheel or else.
Why so?
Yes. This is how serious he is about this. It took them 3 days to get him out of that wheel.
Doesn't seem like a sane person.
You know what's extra hilarious? His girlfriend seems totally with it.
No.
It's like if me or you were like, yeah, he just really loves this darn hamster wheel and I don't want to ruin his dreams.
For all of you out there going, you know, I'm never going to find love.
Right? There's a lid for every pot.
There's a lid for every pot. You know, you might have to accept some peculiar behavior from your partner, but don't we all?
Yes, she's no different from all of us.
You know, I can't organize a dishwasher. He drives a hamster wheel across the Pacific.
Right. Well, okay. So back, I don't know what year it was, but this is a fella who just can't quit doing these stunts because he ran across the country twice like Forrest Gump, and they covered it in the New York Times. Do you think, is your theory that at the end of the day, we all just want to matter and we all want to leave our mark, and for this lunatic, that's his?
I would like, yes. And I feel like this guy, the cave woman, the people who are running that stupid fucking marathon in the dark, in the tunnel.
Sarah could not let go of that lady in the cave.
Never getting over the lady who shat in a bucket
For a year or something.
and made other people clean it up so she can live in a cave. Come on.
That's another person you said. You go, I think it's a rude. That's what you...
He's being rude to the freaking Coast Guard.
They're just trying to do their job.
And could you imagine?
You can tell they're just so sick of it, too. There he goes
Here
again.
he goes. Here we go. You know, they always got the regulars who are like, yeah. And this is the same. This also the people who climb on the outside of buildings with no ropes and do that whole thing. They all go in the same category, and they're all narcissists, if you ask me.
Well, I want to continue this, and I will say that when I put on my pair eyewear, I feel like a narcissist because I can't quit looking in the mirror. I'm like, who is that? Oh, it's me. And I look incredible. And I'm so cute because I got the frames. Then I got the magnetic clip-on toppers in all different colors and styles. You can freaking match your outfit. Sarah wants all the teachers in the United States to do this.
I do. I think it's really cute. I feel like if my grandma were alive, she would have she always wore like the pins and like the stuff. Everything was matching, like the costume jewelry, seasonal.
Yeah.
And she was a teacher. And I feel like this is like that. You got to have like the fun glasses.
It's such a great shtick. You could get spooky season glasses, Christmas, or just different colors, to match different looks. It's very easy to do. They have the digital try-on. You just upload your prescription. So simple. And they're so affordable. Change things up this season with new frames from Pair Eyewear. Go to paireyewear.com/braincandy for 15% off your first pair. That's Pair, P-A-I-R, eyewear.com/braincandy. Okay, Sarah.
Yeah.
Did you, on the same topic, did you see that doofus caver that got stuck down there with like gastrointestinal issues?
No. What? No.
This is an American
with gastrointestinal issues. Listen, if
I should have said bleeding.
It
Bleeding.
did not just occur to you that you have IBS. I would avoid small dark places and places where I could be confined or trapped if I were somebody who maybe needed a restroom to be within a couple hundred yards.
Right. He's like, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Yeah, this guy, but it was bleeding, which is more serious than just DIA or whatever.
Like bleeding from his butt? Like
I think so. That they said gastrointestinal bleeding. So listen, this is what's crazy. He's in Turkey doing this cave for no reason besides narcissism. Yeah. And they had to send down a blood transfusion thousands of feet below.
Okay. Why are we doing this?
Then they had to get him out of there. So once he got the blood transfusion, he was feeling a little better. They were able to go down and get him out today. But like, why do we have to fund these rescue missions?
I
want the DNR for these guys. You sign it.
If you do it, you're in. That's it.
You're on your own.
But fuck. Because like, where's the line though? Because I do want to know that search and rescue is coming on me for me if I go for a hike and get turned around or sprain an ankle out there.
Hiking is not an extreme sport.
Right, exactly. Like I'm not...
And it's not selfish either.
Right.
Like
because I did learn that in Colorado, they don't... I think I said this before, maybe, but they do not charge for search and rescue because...
You did, after your auto class.
Yeah, because they never want you to have to choose. So, like, I get it. But then I don't want people being like, oh, search and rescue's free in Colorado. Let's go do some shit. Like... I don't like that.
And of course, we can't leave people to die.
Right.
I'm not for that. But you know what would really help is you people stop doing this stuff so we can give the resources to nice people instead of just ego-driven weirdos.
Yeah, or there has to be like and you're letting local authorities know that this is going on. You accept full, like when you go rock climbing, that's like a thing. Like you climb in places and like anytime you do any kind of rock climbing, you buy a rock climbing book. The very first page, very first line says rock climbing is inherently dangerous. You assume all risk in doing this. So I feel like these people are assuming all risk. And if you assume all risk, then you have to take the responsibility that comes with the risk that if you're like going to go do these things like, you know, cave diving of like, fuck,
right,
I don't know. But then if it were like somebody I cared about who did this, I'd be like, go rescue them.
I feel like you would tell them to stop it beforehand.
Yeah, I would.
Be like, what are you doing?
Like that. I keep thinking of the Deepest Breath movie.
Right.
Fuck that shit.
Because those are the types of things I'm referring to. There's like, for example, you're hiking or even rock climbing. These are things that people do for physical exercise. Right. That there is a benefit to it. Whereas some of these things are just for the adrenaline. Yeah, and also there is an understanding that if you are doing this within the limits and expectations of how it should be done, that this is safe to do. Like if you're checking your equipment, if you've done the right things, that it's dangerous, but there's ways to ensure your safety. Yeah. I don't think that there's ways to ensure your safety. It's almost the opposite in some of these things. Point. It's the whole point. There is no way to ensure. Okay. Why are we doing this? Yeah. That's what I mean. Thank you. There's got to be, it's got to be a like malfunctioning of the amygdala. Yeah. This is a brain thing. There's no way, because everything in my human instincts says, fuck that. Right. I'm with you. I'm glad. We're going to keep exposing these lunatics and yelling about it into the ether. Okay. This sounds so fucked up, but I'm like, here's what we do. We just we trick them all. We say free trip to explore Everest. Here's the catch. No oxygen, no Sherpas. You're on your own. Bye. Yes, do that. And then, you know, I think we should outlaw takes care of it. The tanks and the Sherpas. People are going to be so mad that I was like just mass killed all of the explorers. You didn't. They did. Mm-hmm. Right.
I just like that, like Agatha Christie noveled them or something. Like I just sent them all to one place with a message.
Good luck to you.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's talk about near-death experiences.
Oh, yes.
It's one of my favorite topics.
Right.
Do you enjoy this topic? Or not really?
I do, but it's like sometimes there are things that get so mysterious and like for the same reason that I dropped out of astrology when I was, and not astrology.
What do you mean?
No, astronomy. Oh my God, am I terrible for confusing those two?
I thought it was another class you're taking.
No.
Okay.
I apologize to all astronomers for that. I'm sure you get that all the time and have to deal with that. And you're so different, those two things. But yeah, in college, I needed to take a physical science and I signed up for astronomy. And I'm like, I'm so interested. I love Interstellar. Yeah. I didn't think that movie was helping. And,
right.
I've dropped out. I was like, nope, I'm switching to oceanography, which surprise, we know less about that than we do space. But it was too overwhelming and too like they were like, this is how far. I'm like, nope,
it's
I'm
scary.
out. It's too freaky. I can't know. So I kind of feel the same way about where I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna stick with the stuff that I know, not the stuff that I know I don't know, or the stuff that I don't even know that I don't know, which is way crazier.
Well, this headline caught me. I couldn't resist because this was on insider.com and the title is, let me scroll up. I've studied more than 5,000 near-death experiences. My research has convinced me without a doubt that there's life after death. Oh, wow. Okay, these are always so fun and they're kind of soothing because generally they're not terrible. They're actually really nice experiences for these people.
Yeah.
So, first, they describe the similarities amongst all the stories, which we all know the stereotypes, like the tunnel and the bright light or whatever. Yeah. And that they tend to feel like they're going home or like at peace and a sense of love, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was interested that they mentioned several children who have experienced them, and their descriptions are the same, even though they're unlikely to have heard the other accounts of people.
For sure.
And then this one was fun. Some people report seemingly unbelievable events, which we can later confirm. One woman lost consciousness while riding her horse on a trail. Her body stayed on the trail while her consciousness traveled with her horse as he galloped back to the barn. Later, she was able to describe exactly what happened at the barn because she had seen it despite her body not being there. And the other people confirmed. That's fun. And you love a horse story.
Oh my God, I get goosebumps. The animal was like, come with me.
Right. And she did. She's galloping along or whatever.
Yeah.
And gets to that barn.
Consciousness is weird.
It is weird.
It is weird.
Uh-oh, we're getting weird again.
I mean, could we transfer it? Could it live on? Is there some? I don't know. It's very...
What's your
interesting
inclination? Do you believe that these stories are actually someone kind of in between? Or do you think it's just a effect of when the body might be dying, there's weird chemicals that are released that make you feel this?
No, I definitely think that there's some... I don't think it's what we think it is, but I think it's more like some like... It's fucking Interstellar, yo. It's it's like multi-dimensional shit.
Okay.
It's like this... I don't know what it is, but there's something. It's too... I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I know it's not just like...
45% of the people said that they did that thing where they're outside of their body looking at themselves.
Yeah.
45%.
And anybody who's had a out-of-body experience, like I've had that one time that was enough for me to go, oh, my consciousness is not in my body right now. This can go somewhere else. Like, and then
freaky.
I jumped right back in it because I was scared. But I remember that moment where I was very aware that I was not in my body and what was happening. And the description that I had, not knowing that that was what happened. And the next day I look it up online and everything is the exact same thing as like the buzzing feeling. And then you just see like a neon outlines almost of everything in the room. But I'm definitely asleep and my eyes are closed. And I'm like, oh yeah, everybody reports the same exact feeling. That I don't know how it works. I don't know what, but we are going to discover these things in the next 50 to 100 years for sure.
Okay.
Because I'm reading sci-fi books that talk a lot about our consciousness and transporting that and being able to save it or upload it or separate it from the human, like being able to download it, like all that. That feels like there's something else that is, I don't fucking know, but I love it.
Well, while we're in this body, we ought to take care of it and know all we can about it. And thanks to modern fertility, we can do that.
Absolutely. And do it at a very reasonable cost.
Right? I mean, yeah, what prevents a lot of people from going to the doctor or getting these tests are the cost and the hassle, and modern fertility helps deal with all of that because it's so much more affordable and it's so convenient because you can do the test at home, send it off, and get the results in a couple of days. They're personalized, and you can talk to somebody about your results and learn about red flags that you might be having, how many eggs are cooking, fertility stuff.
PCOS, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm.
All that kind of stuff. And as Sarah knows, it's so important to inquire and look into it. Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy. That means your test will cost $159, which is a fraction of what it would cost at a fertility clinic. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/braincandy, modernfertility.com/braincandy.
Yeah, man.
Another part of the article mentioned fear death experiences, which are like if you think you're about to die, that thing where like your life flashes before your eyes. And it was saying how many people that have their life in review in that way recall moments from their childhood from before they were like old enough to really remember, like baby stuff and toddler stuff. Yeah. And then it's confirmed by family members that that was the thing that actually happened. And that's weird too. Like, what is your brain doing? Going through your memories, like your unconscious ones?
I would imagine, because so our brain's job is to like protect us and keep us safe.
Yeah.
It's like, and it usually like does that above all else. And so if it felt like you were all of a sudden got a rush of adrenaline or cortisol or something like that, and maybe felt like it was going to die, I could maybe understand your brain dumping dopamine and like trying to, or serotonin or oxytocin in an attempt to cushion the blow, to like soften it. And so it pulls up positive memories or things that evoke like strong emotion, whether you're consciously aware of them or not, maybe, because it's usually a positive feeling.
Yes. And maybe
kind of
like
brain does that shit.
Maybe it causes this rapid retrieval of conscious and unconscious memories to check, hey, did I learn how to survive this ever before?
Maybe. I get goosebumps. Yeah.
Like, do I have anything?
Just like real quick. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be weird. That's cool if that's what happens. But I like the soothing part too. Either way.
Interesting.
The human body's wild, man.
Yeah. I feel like the thing that was the most convincing to me was Michael Pollan's book, How to Change Your Mind.
Why?
Where he talked about psychedelics and these drugs that impact the same areas of the brain that are impacted when we're close to death, and people have those same experiences and a deep, profound understanding that this ain't it.
Isn't it funny how oftentimes when they come out and are then sober, that the effects linger and they are transformed like emotionally, and for them, it's almost like they saw the light in the sense of like, oh, we're all one, and it's whatever.
You never not know that. You never don't know that. When you learn how to tie your shoes, you never are like, oh, fuck, how am I going to tie my shoes? You just always know that.
Right.
Because you've had that experience. You've seen it. You've, whatever it may be.
And they're convinced, though, that that's the truth and that this life is sort of like the BS. So do you think they ever have a sense of like, oh, but what if this is the truth and that's the BS?
No.
How come they never do?
I don't know. I can only say from personal experience, it was one time.
Yeah.
That was enough. I'm like, I'm good. I know it all.
I know it all. That's great.
And what I know is I don't know fuck all.
Right.
But I do know
I'm
that
at
this
peace
ain't it.
with it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Let's go a little darker now. Let's see. Maybe. Okay. Well, I got to tell you, I watched that Boy Scouts documentary. It's another one.
Oh God. I'm too scared.
This was on Netflix, I think, and it was called A Scout's Honor.
Yeah.
And I had already watched Leave No Trace.
Yes.
About it. And I really liked it and I was moved by it, and mainly just like the scope of the trauma. 82,000 people have filed complaints. That's just who have filed.
82,000.
Yeah, and the cover up of it and all of that. And how like
why is that still happening?
And how the Boy Scouts, their position is sort of like, we are just a sample of life. Like bad things happen with people in the Scouts, bad things happen in our own homes and we're no different. Instead of like acknowledging that they had created this perfect storm for people who are predators to be like, I would like to go there because there was more opportunity. Right. I wish they would just say it.
Right.
I guess they don't because they don't want to be liable.
I think there's still money in that. It's still somehow profit. Somebody's making money.
Oh, yeah. And it's sort of like most of the victims love the Scouts and don't want to dismantle it. Right. They just want to make it better and safer. Right. Yeah. And so I hope these films, as horrifying as they are, do have that effect, because it is cool to have these types of learning outdoor nature experiences with, whatever, but they need more safeguards.
Yeah, they do.
Good grief.
Oh my God.
It was very moving.
Should I see it?
I liked it.
I'll see it. Yeah.
But I don't want to trigger you,
Yeah.
But I was more than sad. I was like inspired by the bravery of the people coming forward and how difficult that must have been. And then the people that left the organization that were like working for them, who are coming forward and being like, they're still not doing anything. Jesus, like whistleblowers. We love a whistleblower around here.
We do love a whistleblower.
Because that takes guts.
It does. It does. And
okay.
I'm glad people are like we're showing like behind the curtain, like we're the for a lot of these groups and organizations.
Mm-hmm. And and they usually don't get anything from it. Right. Like it's not like a whistleblower's usually get like some great reward. Okay. And then the other great documentary series I watched was called Never Let Him Go. And that was on Hulu. You may have seen the trailer for that.
Keeps coming up.
That was the one where there was in Australia, a man was found at the bottom of a cliff, and they ruled it a suicide.
Thought it was a suicide. Okay, and his brother was like,
Right. So it's a 4-part docu-series, so it's long, and there were times when I was like, this is a little too slow, but I'm so glad I stuck with it, because that final episode was really awesome. But the point that I want to make about it is that, as you said, there was this brother who obviously was devastated by the death of his brother. The one that died was in Caltech PhD mathematics. He's brilliant.
Wow.
But the brother that's alive is brilliant too. And he, in like 1993, created this algorithm that allowed for the downloading of pictures on the internet go from 1 hour down to 6 seconds. And so he got rich. Whoa. But it was that wealth that allowed him to keep pushing for 30 years. And he just bankrolled his own investigation. And it's sad that you would have to do that to get the attention towards the case because they just were like, he's gay. He probably killed himself. Like that sort of dismissive.
Yeah. It makes you think how many other cases there are where that's the...
Right. Because there's all these guys that are had the same circumstance. And there were all these like Klan people, like skinheads and stuff.
Yeah.
Who were bragging about doing it. And
I want to watch this. Okay.
Yeah, it was really amazing because when you have a ton of money and a ton of love, which is what that is, it was just like he was not going to let it go, and his family was like, we kind of really wish he would have let it go because he's got kids and a wife.
That's interesting when you're driven by something other than power and like financial success to get like to be successful, like it serves another purpose. I feel like you maintain that empathy and compassion, or could, more than if your goal was to just have a bunch of money and
right, when it's like ego driven.
Yeah.
Like going down in a cave for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know, something like
a higher purpose.
Just like that. Right.
And Sarah and I keep having conversations off the air about like letting things go and how some people like me can't. And it's like, this guy's kind of like that. But to speak to your argument that like you're never going to feel completely at peace, even though the case is closed, everything's settled, we know what happened, blah, blah, blah. The brothers like still got that little something. Now I want to know why.
Right.
Right. So there is that. You can be chasing the wind. Yeah.
Jinx.
But it was very cool to see somebody relentlessly demanding justice and getting it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That was good. It was a happy ending. Speaking of happy endings, I'll tell you what gives us happy endings, and that's Dipsy Stories.
What? That's an A+ segue.
Thank you.
That was very good.
And totally unintended, but hilarious all the same. Dipsy Stories is a really cool service that provides sexy stories, sleep stories, wellness stories.
Relaxing stories.
Relaxing and not relaxing. Whatever your pleasure, baby.
Yeah. Rev you up or chill you out.
Yeah, right. It's made by women for women. They have a majority of stories voice acted by people of color. And they're committed to inclusivity, which I love. And you can put in your info and they'll suggest what they think you would like to hear. For listeners of our show, Dipsy is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipsystories.com/braincandy. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to dipsastories.com/braincandy. dipsystories.com/braincandy.
You know what we talk about on the podcast, This Changes Everything. We have people, you know, always talking about like, oh, I've been with my partner for a while and, you know, I'm looking for a way like to spice it up or someone's there in the mood, but I'm not. And like, how do we like keep it interesting? And one of the techniques that Jeff has suggested to people that I just love is, you know, carve out some time, set the timer for 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and each of you go in your own part of the house, your own room or area, and listen to some stories, watch some videos, do whatever. And then when timer goes off, you meet up. And
I would see how that would be effective.
Super effective, because it's a lot of times, you know, it takes a lot. Like you're a woman with a busy mind, it takes a lot to get in the mood. And so this is like, you know,
rev your
sometimes
engine.
like maybe your partner's in the mood and you're like not. This is a way to like give me 10 minutes and you're right there.
And we'll reconvene.
Yes, it's great. Highly recommend.
Okay. All right. One more.
Yeah.
Just for funsies. There are several brainiacs. This was a situation where I was skipping over this documentary, but so many
right. Isn't that funny we do that? We're like, we hear it so much, we're like, I don't know. Well, maybe I won't watch it.
Several brainiacs suggested that I watch BS High on Max.
Oh, yeah.
BS High is the documentary about this football team, high school football team that played a game on ESPN, got their butts handed to them to the point where it was like folly. Just like,
God. Okay.
something's not right here. Why are they on ESPN and they don't even really know how to play football? And what turned out was this sociopath guy decided he wanted to do a private school. I didn't even know these existed, but there's one famous one called IMG. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's like a very famous private school that's devoted to athletics. So it's like a pipeline.
Do they have one in Texas that I maybe have recently
Probably.
seen pictures of? I think I have seen this.
Yeah.
It's like insane. Okay, sure.
It's like a pipeline to the NFL or the NBA or whatever. And these rich families send their kids there to get like insane like nutrition and the best medicine and all this stuff to make these hyper athletes. Well, that's the team they were playing against. Okay. So this coach decided he wanted to create a school like IMG, but he didn't really have any interest in the school part. So he just made a football team and he pretended like it was a school.
Oh, no.
And he recruited these like high risk, like inner city kids who had no other options. They moved to Ohio and they think they're going to go to school. And it turns out it's just this doofus starting a football team. And it is wild.
God. Talk about preying on vulnerable. This kind of feels like Fox. What's that Fox? About the wrestling coach who like started the wrestling. He was like the rich guy who.
Do I know this story?
Yes, and they made a movie out of it with Steve Carell.
No, I don't know it.
Susie, you have to see this documentary too. Okay, but continue.
Okay. The thing that makes this documentary extremely fascinating is that the sociopath coach participated in it. He's so far gone that he doesn't care coming on this documentary and just laughing.
That's the best when they're that crazy that they don't realize they are the punchline. Like they are the, oh shit, he's crazy. He's a sociopath.
Crazy. And I think he kind of thought he gets to be on HBO Max, and I made it. I finally made it. I did what I intended to do. And he's laughing about stuff. And these kids are devastated. Like their lives are ruined. God. And he thinks it's funny. And
that's fucked up.
It's
that
insane.
Guy should be in jail.
He sure should, because even just the finances, he was writing bad checks. He was taking all this money.
Why isn't he?
I mean,
Don't
I think it's. Okay. Well, I think it's a matter of time. It's sort of like we'll see what happens.
Oh shit!
But just
those poor kids.
And
they got their asses handed to them.
I mean, it was dangerous. Like it'd be like if I were out there against like who's a football player? I don't even know any.
Oh my God!
Some big football player. It's like not safe.
Jesus.
It's crazy, and I highly recommend watching it.
The thing I was talking about is called Foxcatcher. And
it's a scripted film?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's two. There's a documentary on Netflix, and then there's a movie with Steve Carell. And I'd see the documentary first, and then or both. They're both so good. And it says, recounting the paranoid downward spiral of John E. DuPont and the murder, spoiler alert, murder of Olympic wrestler Dave Schultz. Susie, you're gonna.
This is right in my wheelhouse.
You're gonna freak out. This is gonna blow your mind. And it's like, imagine Ticklish combined with, what's the one with the crazy guy, Kill 'Em All,
Jinx.
Robert Durst, the Jinx. Okay, the Jinx, Ticklish, and any ESPN 30 for 30.
Right. Oh my gosh. I see. Why didn't you tell me about it though? I think we have a problem.
What's wrong?
Why don't we communicate?
I was like, this is old news. I cannot believe that we
hurts.
haven't seen this or talked about this in this many years. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's like when my friend, I always tell this story because I think it's funny. My friend Val, he was at a yard sale one time and he saw a Beach Boys Christmas album. And he goes, yeah, I saw a Beach Boys Christmas album for $1 at this yard sale, but I didn't get it because I thought you might have it. And I was like, you didn't want to take the $1 gamble that I might not have it?
I would have gambled that $1, Susie.
So I'm saying this about documentaries.
I get it. I don't know what I was thinking. Definitely watch Foxcatcher. It's on Netflix. You'll love it.
Thank you. Okay, I will. Okay, I guess that's it. BS High. Definitely watch it. It's crazy. And one more thing. I know I said that already, but there was a you know those bear cams?
Yeah.
Where people sit online and watch these bears like frolic or whatever they do.
Yeah.
And some poor soul in Alaska was lost and he had to go up to a bear cam and like mouth help me. Did you see it?
That's very smart. No,
it is
but
so
that
smart.
Is very, very smart. And now I remember that. That's good.
Because like these cams, they don't have audio, so it's just the video. And all these people are at home, probably in their jammies in their beds, like watching these bears. No. And then they're like, this guy looks like he needs help. And they had to like write online to whoever owns the camera. Can you go help him?
That's resource. I like this.
I know.
And
there needs to be more cameras in those woods.
Yeah, I think so.
Like all those national parks and stuff. I know it's like leave no trace,
fucking
but
shit happens out there. They do. I mean. They need like more.
Because maybe we leave no trace except for cameras.
Right. Oh, Sooz, I didn't tell you this. You'd be happy to know that in that off-roading class that I went to, they recommended the exact Christmas gift that you got me.
No.
And we were like, oh, high five. I already own it.
Gold star.
Yep.
Really? They said it's reliable?
That is there. Yes.
What do you call those things?
Garmin, like location find or like a GPS tracker.
What are they powered by battery or something? How do they work?
And then they send a message up to a satellite signal that then sends a message down to an office in, I want to say it's in Florida. They were like specific enough in this class to tell us where the office is. And the office then takes that location and dispatches that to, based on what your situation is, dispatches that to the closest search and rescue or people. They said there was a situation recently where a man hiking or doing something had a heart attack and they got him in something like 20 minutes. It was insane because they were able to pinpoint him and find him. And because it was, and like dispatch a helicopter to his location way faster. But then there was somebody who like got stranded and just had like, did it. And it was not an emergency. And then that'll take you like 4 hours.
So it's like you have two choices. You can get one of these stupid phones.
Yeah.
Or just not do crazy stuff like me. Just stay at home.
Stay at home where it's safe.
Bake some cupcakes. And call it a day.
Call it a day.
But I'm glad you're safe. That's great that you have that.
Yeah, that's great. And we're going to take it we always do. It's like in the emergency pack.
All right. Well, for next year, like what, are you still missing any safety gear? Because I can't take any chances. You're getting roofied at regular old bars.
I know. Gosh.
This is crazy.
I'm going to get that nail polish that you like paint the nail polish and then you could like stick it. Oh, did you hear about this?
No.
Now I'm like well versed on all the products that are out there. But these college students, women, invented a nail polish that you paint on your nails and it will change colors if there is drugs in the drink. And all you have to do is dip your finger in it.
I mean, that is cool.
Fucking cool as shit.
It's really annoying we have to do that, though.
Really annoying. We have to do that. Because guess what? It's not women roofing other women. Okay?
You know what's sad, though? When we were talking about this off the air and we were going through possible ways this happened. Was it this? Was it this? And then you said, like, who knows? Maybe somebody once thinks it's funny to roofie the challenge girl. And I'm like, that is so sad because it's true. It could be that.
Yeah. I threw that out as a possibility and people were like, oh, okay, yeah, that does. I could. And the fact that everybody's like, yeah, I see how people could do that.
Because I was out with my girlfriends the other night and I was trying to explain this phenomenon that I sense about the show. there's this shame almost that people watch it. Like they almost hate themselves for watching it sometimes. And instead of like sitting with that and maybe just not watching, they actually put it on us so that they want us to feel like garbage for doing it.
Yes.
And so there is this weird animosity even with people that watch the darn thing. That is strange. That is unlike most shows.
It is unlike that. I'll never forget when I was walking down the street in Berkeley, California, and so it was right after my season of The Real World, and somebody went, "Hey, yo, Real World," and threw a soda can at me, an empty can at me. And I was like, nowhere else, how do I get recognized
Yeah, it's the weirdest.
and insulted in the same 10 seconds?
That's exactly right.
I was like, so you know me enough to know the show, and then I'm a nice, I'm the nice one. Why do you like what I do?
That is so bizarre.
So
I don't get it. But anyway, that's all. We covered a lot of things like crazy cavers, crazy hamster wheel guy.
Yeah, we sure did cover a lot.
Who you can't help but love him. I mean, he's really cute. And does
The hamster wheel guy?
Yeah, he actually is. Like, besides the knife incident,
That's why he's got a girlfriend.
I swear, like she's holding him together.
I'm going to have to look at her.
She's a doll.
That's wow.
And I think she gives him a pass too because he's escaped communism or oppression or something. Like he came here, he freaking loves America. He loves this idea that you can chase your dream, but his keeps getting thwarted by the
you
Coast
can chase
Guard.
your dream, but you don't need to do it on water and in a hamster wheel.
You need a new dream.
Chase your dreams on dry land, please.
Bubble boy.
Right. And to what end? Like, is it for charity or something? It never is.
Yeah, he said he wanted school children to watch him on like the live camera and then donate.
Not for charity. That's
Well, he
school
did.
children
I don't
watch
know
me.
what
It's
he
like
wants.
the bear cams.
Andy, when he got pulled over by the Coast Guard, they were like, "You're not safe." And he was like, "I got life vests. I got flares or whatever." And then he goes, "I have a computer. I watch movies." Like while he's running across the ocean, he's watching like Tommy Boy or whatever.
Tommy Boy!
What would you watch? It just
Not Castaway.
not not Titanic.
Right.
Okay, Sarah dropped out of astrology. And if you've ever had a near-death experience, I want to hear about it. If you've ever had a fear-death experience, I want to hear about it.
Yes.
If you ever watch a good documentary that you think I'd like, tell me, even if you think I already watched it.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We love you. Bye-bye.